Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charlie from Raging Entertainment. Today, I wanted to go over the Batman movies in general from 1989 all the way up to now, and basically kind of break down the movies that I enjoy the most and the ones that were okay with me, but not the best, so to speak. And because of the Batman coming out with Robert Pattinson, I figured this would be a good time to do that. Kind of got the idea from a fellow YouTuber who was doing this, but he's got more production behind his stuff to where he can actually be in a little bit more depth than I can be with, editing and stuff like that, where he's able to give you certain film clips to kind of show you what he's talking about. Me, I'm still learning that kind of stuff, so it's going to take me a little bit before I actually learn how to do, say like putting trailers in my videos to where I can actually sync it up and talk about it at the same time, or even put clips from movies into the videos that I make. It's a little hit and miss with me, so I'm still working on my editing, plain and simple. But I figured this would be a good time to do the Batman movies in general and kind of tell you my thoughts on the Batman movies, starting with 1989's Tim Burton's Batman with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, of course, and I think his name's Billy D. Williams. He plays Harvey Dent in this movie, but you don't get the actual Two-Face in this movie. It's mainly Batman and Joker, and this one seems more of like a Joker origin story than, say, Batman's origin, in a sense. And I got to admit, because of me growing up with Michael Keaton's Batman, of course, this one will always be my top, just because it's from my childhood. So, of course, I'm going to say it's, like, one of my favorites, of course, or my favorite. Maybe my favorite out of all of them. But, of course, I'm going to go through all the movies and tell you. And with this movie, of course, it's basically the story of Jack Nicholson's Joker, Jack, which is funny that he's got the name Jack in this movie. And from what I understand, they actually had to pay a good amount of money to get Jack Nicholson into this movie because he almost didn't do this movie or something. Or what he was asking for was a little too much. Something of the sorts. But anyway, yeah, the stories of him becoming Joker, becoming more of a madman than he once was already, because he was already, I would call a hitman, if anything. That's what I would call him in the movie. And he's got his own little minions that hang out with him. It's a weird concept, but I really enjoy this movie. Kim Basinger is in this. She's the love interest to Michael Keaton in this movie. And it's funny because there was an original actress that was supposed to play the character of Vicky Vale, and she was in the movie Blade Runner. She was in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. I'm forgetting her name right now. That's her name right there. And this is her right there. So, kind of weird how she was the original, huh? But the thing is that from what I understand, she ended up getting really sick. And so it kind of made her miss out on actually being Vicky Vale. But I mean, Kim Basinger, I love Kim Basinger, so I didn't necessarily have a problem with her being in the movie. Now, does she kind of make it annoying? Because, a little. She does. She kind of makes it a little bit of annoying. But other than that, the love interest, you don't really see much of a Batman origin. You kind of do, like, with little flashbacks of, say, how Batman became Batman in a sense, where it was Joker who killed his parents, not like, say, some random thug, because the story changes quite a bit with Batman's story. It really does. But, yeah, okay, let's sum it up. This is a great movie. Love this movie to death. It's always going to be my number one just because of the nostalgia reasons. But that's that one. Let's go a few years later into Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito. Christopher Walken is also in this movie, and I would say that this is the movie that introduced me to Christopher Walken before I even knew him in anything else, because after this, of course, he did movies like Wayne's World, Sleepy Hollow, a bunch of movies. He was in Joe Dirt, I think, too, actually, and but he did an amazing job as the villain in this movie. And it's funny because he's not your standard comic book character villain, so it's not one that you would get from the comics. Like Max Schreck, yeah, I said Shrek. And Michelle Pfeiffer, of course, being Catwoman, Selena Kyle, was an innocent, kind of like nerdy receptionist, secretary, whatever you want to call her in this movie, and basically, dies and comes back from supernatural, abilities of cats biting her all around her body, kind of like waking her back up, and all of a sudden she's got 9 lives, and it's a weird concept. It's got a little bit more of a supernatural vibe to it. And from what I understand, this one actually had a little bit more backlash commercial-wise because I think it was McDonald's. Yeah, I think it was McDonald's, and I'm not, sponsored by McDonald's. I want to make that clear. But there was a little backlash for promotion because this one was pushing the edge of being darker, more grittier. I mean, hell, you had the parents of the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, and, his parents, because of him being deformed, thought, oh, it's a good idea. Let's kill the baby, throw him in the river. Did not go too well with promoters and stuff like that. There was a lot of dark tones in this movie, and it's just an all-around great movie, and I enjoy it. I mean, the name in itself, kind of a weird concept of a name, but I still enjoy it. It's still a good one. Michelle Pfeiffer, she is awesome as Catwoman. She will always be my Catwoman. Nothing wrong with, say, the oldies like Julie Newmar, and then say, Halle Berry later on is becoming a Catwoman, having her own movie or whatever. I'm not trying to knock them as, characters or actresses or anything like that. It's just Michelle Pfeiffer, there was just something about this role that made her stand out and perform really well. So next in the videos, of course, will be the Joel Schumacher, movies, which is Batman Forever with Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey, as well as Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, Val Kilmer being Batman. And from what I understand, Michael Keaton was actually gonna be in this movie originally, but that him and Joel Schumacher were just not seeing eye to eye on the concept of Batman for this movie. So that's basically what it was. Because there was rumors that it was mainly due to money or whatever, and it really wasn't. It was just due to creative differences between the two. And the reason why Val Kilmer only did this one and didn't do the one after is kind of same thing. They just did not have the same creative notion towards, Batman's character and whatnot. So that's why he did not show up in the other one after this. But I love the concept of Jim Carrey's The Riddler. This, to me, was The Riddler. So I'm kind of anxious to see, with this new The Batman movie, how that Riddler is going to be. Because I heard that, yes, he is kind of giddy, a little bit like Jim Carrey in this, but I won't know until I see it. I know it's going to come to HBO Max. I did get tickets for the movie, but it's going to be for Sunday. I'm going to try to ignore it on HBO Max just because I do want to see it in the theater. But even if I do watch it on HBO Max, at least I'll see it twice. So then that way, if I miss anything the first time around, I'll catch things that I didn't see before. And that way I could probably get a review out for you guys as quick as possible too, if you guys want to see one. And if you do, leave a like on this video or comment down below. Let me know. But as much as Joel Schumacher kind of... And from what I understand, actually, there's actually a cut, kind of like, the Snyder cut, Justice League and all, that there's a cut of this that's even darker than what this one portrayed. And I'm kind of anxious to see that if it ever does come about, because there's additional scenes, like deleted scenes, that are out there that you can find to watch and kind of get an understanding of what it might have been. And from what I understand, that there's a possibility, I don't know how possible or how 100% it is or whatever, that we will get that cut. Kind of like how there's the, Ayer, I think the last name is Ayer for Suicide Squad, the one with Jared Leto as the Joker. Leto, I said his name wrong a little bit. Not by much, but still, I had to correct myself. But, yeah. Did I enjoy this movie? I did. I had fun with it. Don't get me wrong. It's where you get introduced to Robin and everything. So it's one of those and I like Chris O'Donnell. I really do. I like him as Robin. But when you look at him, he looks like he's already of age, doesn't need to be adopted or anything like that by Bruce Wayne. He doesn't look like a kid, because Robin was supposed to be Boy Wonder, and they kind of took that away, in my opinion, with Chris O'Donnell being Robin. And it's nothing against Chris O'Donnell, because I like the guy. He's a really good actor. And in my opinion, they just kind of took that, feeling away of him being Boy Wonder. And that's the only problem that I see with it on Robin's part. The costume that he gets in this is really cool. I really like it. Of course, they could have done without the whole bat nips and crap like that, but I did enjoy this one. And then, of course, next is the other one, Batman and Robin, of course, with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. And then, of course, you got George Clooney replacing Val Kilmer in this movie. And that's what I mean by Val Kilmer not returning, because him and Joel Schumacher just did not see eye to eye, and that's how George Clooney became a part of this one. And there's like a few scenes to where, because if you notice, people are wondering, is it even the same universe as like the Tim Burton movies? And technically, yes, it is, because they had the same butler, Alfred, throughout the whole time in all of these movies, Alfred. And this one was a little bit more heart-touching in a sense, because Alfred, you think he's on his deathbed and that he's going to die, this and that or whatever, and him and Batman have like a warm, touching moment. And I would say that's one part that I really enjoyed with this, is the connection that, Bruce Wayne / Batman has with Alfred. Because Alfred, basically raised him as a kid ever since his parents died, And and the actor who played Alfred is just amazing in this movie. I mean, he did well in all of them, actually. He was, like, to me, one of the best Alfreds out there. And not to knock the other guys, of course, because they're all good. But that guy, he was, on a roll. He did all these movies as Alfred. But the story with this one, and this one, of course, was more kind of like the other one. Very bright, very neon, very colorful. And don't get me wrong, I still find it fun. I still find it entertaining. But would I call it a favorite? No. Do I still enjoy it? Yes, I do. Am I glad that I have these movies in my collection? Yes, I am. Because to me, you can't have Batman movies without all the Batmans and then creating your own, opinion on them. But this one's going to be a little bit short, only because not a lot to really talk about with this one, other than just, I think they could have done better with the Mr. Freeze, say, story kind of, even though it was somewhat taken from another source, from one of the animated shows, I think it was, where the story of how he's keeping his wife alive or something like that, and how he's trying to steal crystals or something like that. I can't remember, exact, but, and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, I feel like they could have done a lot better, and it's not to knock him down or anything like that, because I do enjoy Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, hell, I'm actually a fan of his. Love the Terminator movies, even the ones that suck. Still enjoy them. But, yeah, that's for that one. We're going to jump right into the Dark Knight trilogy, starting with Batman Begins, of course. Now, when I watched this, I'm not going to lie, not the biggest fan. And it's not to knock on Christian Bale, because he is a really good actor, very phenomenal actor. I'm forgetting the name of what type of actor they call them. It kind of like Joaquin Phoenix, the type of actors they are. There's a certain name for it, and I can't even think of it right now. But, hell, I don't even know if I'm going to remember after I'm done filming. But anyway, Christian Bale becomes Batman. These are done by Christopher Nolan, of course. And you have Liam Neeson, who is the teacher who teaches Bruce Wayne how to become, I think it's called, the League of Shadows, and basically ninja style, And the one thing I didn't like about Christian Bale's Batman is how he had to talk like this. I'm Batman. Where are the drugs? They didn't have to do that to him. Because if you go with Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Michael Keaton before him, they just talked. I'm Batman. It didn't take much to, disguise their voice or anything of that sort. But this one, he really tried. I'm Batman. And I'm like, do you really need to do that? Because I don't see the point in it. But, yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, you got the Scarecrow in here. And it's funny because I was so used to the Scarecrow being kind of like a supernatural type of being. And in this one, it's more of like him giving these people an hallucinogenic type of drug that makes them freak out and become more of a persona than he's showing. Because, like, if you give him the drug and then, say, have Batman come at you, it's going to make Batman look even more intense than he actually is. And that was something I didn't really care for. Now, do I enjoy these movies? I do enjoy them. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy them. But would I say they're favorites? No, they're not favorites. Batman Begins, it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a good movie. I do like Christian Bale. It's just not a top in my rating system for Batman. And, yeah, that's for that one. And then, of course, next in the roundup of Dark Knight Trilogy is The Dark Knight. And this one, because I know everybody says that this is Heath Ledger's most brilliant performance as the Joker ever. And they also did a little recasting. What's her name? Like, oh my god, it's Jake Gyllenhaal's sister. I'm forgetting her name. I think her name's Rachel. I'd have to look it up. But they did a recast, you know, because the other... God, I'm blanking on names today. Katie Holmes. Yeah, Katie Holmes was the original love interest in the first one, and then they did recasting and got, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal's sister to be, you know, to recast that role. But Heath Ledger, I want to go to the, you know, talk about Heath Ledger being the so-called greatest Joker ever. Now, everybody is gonna have their own Joker, in my opinion. Some are going to say that Jared Leto killed it as Joker. Some people are going to say Joaquin Phoenix is the best Joker. And, you know, everybody's got their own Joker. Me, it's Jack Nicholson. I'm always going to love Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Now, is it to knock Heath Ledger's Joker down? No, it's not, because he still did a phenomenal job. Now, when I say, like, out of all the 3 Dark Knight Trilogy movies, this one is the better one. It is the better one. And I'll agree with that it is the better one. And that this movie is definitely, you know, a staple in cinema for sure. Better fight scenes, better choreography, you know, better choreography. I almost said that wrong. But, it's a lot better than the other one, because the Batman Begins had a lot of, like, cut, paste, you know, to, like, different fight parts where it wasn't even one take. It was just multiple takes put into one scene. And I didn't really care for that. But this one didn't do that, so it seems like Christopher Nolan kind of learned from the last one not to do that. But this, like I said, turned out great. He's basically just a madman. He's not about money. He's not about, you know, like being the richest man in the world. He's more about just showing people for the, you know, crap that they do, you know, like kind of putting politicians in their place in a sense. Like, even good people can go bad. And being a lesson with the Harvey Dent character, because if you guys know this movie that well, you would know the ending, Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face becomes evil in a sense. But everybody knows why he becomes that way. So I'm not going to give that away. But I do enjoy it. In all honest reasons, I do enjoy this movie. And then, of course, last in the Dark Knight trilogy would be, you know, the Dark Knight Returns? No, right. Dark Knight Rises. I don't know why I said Returns. Probably because Batman Returns, you know. And then, of course, you've got Tom Hardy as Bane. And it's funny because when you watch the, Batman and Robin movie, you see Bane as kind of like a dumb bodybuilder kind of looking dude. I didn't particularly like that, because in this one, you see Bane as an intelligent, and I mean intelligent human being. I could say that I definitely enjoyed this more than Batman Begins. I did not enjoy it more than The Dark Knight itself, but I did like how they portrayed Bane in this movie, because, like I said, when you look at the other one, it's just they made him look like a dumb bodybuilder, basically, like no brains, nothing, like if he's a slave. This one, he's highly intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He is a fighter. It seems like that even he was like trained at one point. I'd have to rewatch this, but because I'm not 100% sure on the whole League of Shadows or something like that, but I'd have to double check because I can't remember, so I'd have to rewatch this one before going and seeing the new one. Even though Bane's not going to be in there, but just because I want to be more knowledgeable with the Bane character in general, because it's been a long time since I've watched this one, so I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But I really do enjoy Tom Hardy as Bane. I enjoy Tom Hardy as Venom in general, and a lot of people wanted Tom Hardy as Venom too because of his look, his build, kind of like how Eddie Brock looks in a sense in the comics. So it was one of those, he just fit it and became Venom. So it's funny, you've got him in DC and as well as Marvel at the same time. Kind of funny. Same with Michael Keaton, if you guys noticed, that he was Batman. Now he's the Vulture. Now he's coming back as Batman again with the Flash movie. But, yes, this one is a good one. I'm just saying that this trilogy is just not my all-time favorite Batman movies. But I will agree that they are good, they're entertaining, they're enjoyable, just not favorites. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and move along to Batman v Superman, where Ben Affleck is introduced as Batman. And we already had Man of Steel come out, so we already know about, Superman already. But this one, in general, and I'm just going to say it, and I might get some backlash for it, Ben Affleck is not my Batman. And it's nothing against Ben Affleck in general, because I do enjoy Ben Affleck, and I mean I enjoy him as an actor because he does do good movies. I'm not saying that he doesn't do good movies. It's just when it comes to the Batman character / Bruce Wayne, he just did not do it for me. And it's just me personally. And it's not to knock him as an actor, and I mean that, because he is a good actor. Have I liked everything he's done? No. But is there movies that I do enjoy that he's in? Of course. There's plenty. I loved him in the movie Mallrats. I liked him in the movie Dogma. Mainly Kevin Smith movies that I liked him in. And then, of course, I liked him in Good Will Hunting. What was some other ones? Can't really remember right now, but yeah, he does do good movies. Oh, The Town. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's not a favorite. It's a good movie, in my opinion. I know that he did one, Argo, I think. I didn't get to watch that one yet, but I heard that was really good in itself, too. Or The Accountant, I think that's one he did. And he does do good movies. It's just, he just does not pull it off for me as Batman / Bruce Wayne. I don't like the voice modification thing that they do with him where he sounds robotic and when he talks. It just didn't fit well for me, And I don't know. I mean, and it's to go hand in hand with Snyder Cut, Justice League and all, because, of course, we got the one that was Joss Whedon, the one that nobody really cared for. I mean, I'm sure there are people who did enjoy it. Me, I didn't personally care. That's why I got this one. I still have it. I have it on my eBay store for sale. If anybody's interested, let me know. But yeah, I don't know. This was good, though. I enjoyed this. Like I said, when it comes to Ben Affleck as Batman, I just could not get behind the character so much. And I'm sorry for upsetting anyone who is a big fan of his, in the Snyder as well as Batman v Superman. He just does not cut it for me as Batman, and I apologize to all of you, even though I shouldn't have to apologize, but I am, because I care about you guys as like a fan base, and I would rather be honest than lie to you guys that, I still enjoy it. Hello, I own them. They're still fun. They're still enjoyable. So that would conclude basically my thoughts on the entire Batman filmography so far. And I'm not counting Adam West's Batman at all, because to me that was more of a TV show. Yes, they did their own little movie, but it not as dark and gritty as like these ones and stuff. So even though Joel Schumacher tried to do it more lighter tone in a sense, but dark movies. Batman deserves to be, the actual Dark Knight, maybe make the next The Batman sequel or whatever a little bit more actual rated R. Make it more darker, even though I haven't watched it yet, but from what I'm understanding is that it's a good movie. It is dark, it's borderline horror, but but at the same time, it's not as dark as a lot of people think it is. But other than that, that's my conclusion for the filmography of Batman. And if you guys could, let me know down in the comments, which one is your favorite Batman movie, or Batman by actor, whatever it may be. Leave a comment, let me know. And if you guys could, share this video around. Share it with anybody who's a Batman fan if they happen to agree with me on who is their favorite Batman, which me, Michael Keaton. I'm just going to say it, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. But that's just me. Other than that, you guys have a good day. I have my links down below to my social media as well as my PayPal if you guys want to support in some way. And you can just support by giving the thumbs up too, because the thumbs up, they help. The views, they do help. Comment down below, you know, because, I mean, it'd be nice to interact with you guys. I don't get a lot of interaction. It kind of sucks a little bit, but you know what? This is more of a hobby. It's not like I'm trying to become famous or anything like that through this. This is just for fun, and I had to learn that, you know, a while back. And yeah, but you guys have a good day. Stay safe, stay tuned. Thank you.